Hey everyone, I have big news on this update to share with you, and yes, I am coming to you from hiding out in my bathroom. If you have never hid out in your bathroom, I can guarantee two things about you. You did not share a room with your sister growing up, and nobody called you mom. But I wanted to take a second, well, I'm really excited. I wanted to take a second and tell you about that I bought a motorcycle. I wanted to be able to sneak this video in without my kids overhearing, but I bought a motorcycle. I just bought one. Sight unseen, I've never sat on it. It's not what anybody recommended. It is not used. Every ding and scratch is gonna be where I dropped it or ran it into something. But I'm really excited about it. I feel more comfortable and more confident in this decision than anything else that I have seen. So let me just back up for a second and talk about my buying process. I have had a lot of time to shop over the last few weeks, but all that shopping has really been online because I've been confined to the house. I'm not driving, I'm not, so how do I sneak away from Mike to shop when I can't even drive? So I have been looking online and reading reviews and looking at YouTube videos, and I'm only taking one piece of advice. I appreciate all the advice that other people have given me, but I'm only really going to use one piece of advice, and that advice actually came from Mike talking about our 16-year-olds, what he would recommend for our 16-year-old to ride, right? So I can get in those conversations pretty easy. And if you ask a motorcycle guy about a motorcycle recommendation, they're going to tell you everything and not think anything of it. So he said, in the end, it's important that you think your first bike is cool and that you want to be seen on it. So I bought a bike that I think is cool and I want to be seen on it. It's a little bit weird, a little bit quirky. It is not a 650 or a 300. Also totally against everybody's advice. But here's what I decided. In this process, and actually in working through and making the first two videos that you've seen, if you haven't, go back and see those, I realized that that wasn't who I am. That's not my normal personality that was coming through on that. I was weak. I was nervous and intimidated by a lot of things. And there's no reason for me to be that way. I'm a professional. I have all the buying power in the world. In fact, the statistics will say that women do most of the buying, whether it's houses, cars, everything. So my discretionary dollars are actually important to the economy. I make, big decisions all the time. We trade real estate, manage stock portfolios. I mean, this is not something that should be outside the realm of something I can do, make a $4,000 purchase. But for some reason, this buying a motorcycle was really put me out of my comfort zone, maybe. I don't know. But I decided to buy a bike that I felt confident on, not one that made me feel tough or that was a powerful machine. So I bought a Honda Trail 125. It's a tiny little motorcycle. It's almost a moped, but it gives me the chance to get on a motorcycle, learn about riding motorcycles, get comfortable with it, and then decide to move up or not. It can go off-road when we want to go off-road. I can camp out of it if I want to camp out of it. I watched a series of a guy who took it on the Tat. So on the Smoky 500, I mean, you can do a lot with these bikes. And it's nice, it weighs about 250 pounds. So if I drop it, I can just pick it up on my own. The maintenance is pretty easy on it. There's not a lot of electronics. It's just a bare bones little bike to learn on. And it looks a little ridiculous and I kind of love that. So yeah, I'm really excited. And I also researched into, I can't lose a lot of money on this bike because they are reselling with under 1,000 miles. They're so in demand and there's so few on the market that if I decide I hate it and I need to sell it, I can get my money back out of it without losing more than a couple $100. And so, yeah, so I feel really good. I think this is a doable thing. I think I'm gonna enjoy learning to ride this little bike. I think it's a little step up from my tricycle. I'm gonna be dealing with the two-wheel part. I'm gonna be dealing with a handbrake and a foot brake. And I'm gonna be dealing with changing gears, but it actually doesn't have a clutch. So it's kind of semi-automatic maybe. It's not a full standard transmission. So it does have an interesting foot shifter, I guess, where it's front and back, so you can up and down shift by using your heel and your toe, and it's a little bit of a different pattern than on other bikes. So if I want to move up, there's going to be an adjustment there, but it is a nice transition from where I was to a motorcycle. It also, the max speed is about 45, 50 miles an hour really. I mean, I've seen some videos where they get up to almost 60 miles an hour, but I'm assuming that's a little downhill, maybe really small people, or it takes a while to get there. So if I were to accidentally rev that throttle, it's not going to get out from under me, at least not very easily, not very quickly, because it just doesn't have that power. So that makes me feel good. It's not going to fall on me and hurt me because it's just not that heavy, which makes me feel good. It's not very tall, but I haven't sat on it. I've heard the seat's really hard. I need a new chain. And so I'm starting to look at all the different mods that I need to do. And it's funny because I've laughed at Mike he gets a new bike and then he styles it, is what I call it. And I'm doing exactly the same thing. So I've joined the boards, I'm in the conversations, and I haven't even gotten the bike yet. So stick with me. I'm gonna have to tell Mike probably a little earlier than I thought, because I need his help to bring it home. I think I could get it up in a truck, or I could at least take our trailer and get it onto our trailer and strap it down, or have the salespeople help me strap it down to get it home. But I actually can't drive that far right now, and I wouldn't be able to push the bike. I'm not even gonna be able to sit on this bike when we first get it. So yeah, so stay tuned. In the next episode, I think, or at least a couple of videos from now, I'll be picking up my brand new bike.